I wake up every day so excited to greet the day with my daughter. And there's nothing she did to earn it. There's nothing she did to earn my excitement or my love for her. She's just there. She just exists. And I'm super excited to greet the day with her and start the day and do things with her and just see what the day is going to greet us with. That's it. She didn't give me anything, just her being still and waking up that day. The same way God sees us. There's nothing we could have done to earn his love or his grace. The fact that we exist is enough. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are back with another episode of Not Another Relationship Podcast. I am Nicole McKnight.
And I am Malcolm McKnight.
And today we're talking about a very special story. We are sharing a very special story. Last time we shared our baby story, our unexpected blessing, how we got pregnant. And today we are sharing our labor and delivery story.
She's here.
Yeah, baby girl is here, and you guys will get to see her if you're watching the video in a couple of minutes. But, boy, how are you feeling?
I'm not, honestly.
You're not feeling?
I said I'm not, right?
Oh, yeah. I was like, wait, what? You're not feeling?
It's getting deep. Nah, I'm good. I'm really excited to be a girl dad. I've enjoyed every single process of this, even the sleepless nights.
Yeah.
You know, we're learning to take naps. But yeah, the labor story is it's one for the books, guys. But I'll let Nicole tell her side of it.
Okay, so I woke up the Saturday before Easter and I was just like, cramping a little bit more than I have been. I had been like experiencing Braxton Hicks for probably 2 weeks. So I had lots of false starts. And yeah, I was just like, okay, maybe it's another form of Braxton Hicks, right? And I knew I was getting closer to my due date. My due date was April 19th. So I was just like, okay, cool. Could be another thing of Braxton Hicks though. But then they became so intense that I was like, oh no, I'm in early labor here. Yeah. I'm definitely in early labor. And then out of nowhere, in between contractions, my early contractions Saturday morning, I had this just urge to clean the house. And it was this weird urge to clean the house because, I hadn't cleaned, honestly, the entire house in months because I physically could not. But that morning I woke up and I was like, Neil, let's do this. Let's do that. Let's clean the dishes. Let's mop the floor. Let's vacuum this. Let's do this. Let's clean. I was cleaning the walls. I was scrubbing our walls.
Scrub the walls. She was mad excited. She was like, I found a new way to get the muck off of the walls. I was like, bro.
I was so excited. And then I wasn't even tired after that. I was just like, yo, I'm just going to go take a shower just in case. And we can hang out in the basement after. We have like a family TV area in the basement. So we get down there and my contractions start intensifying. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should start actually timing them out. And the more I'm timing them out, the more I'm realizing they're getting a little bit more severe. So I was like, these might be the real ones. I
just kept asking, how close was that? 7 minutes.
Yeah, they were 7 minutes apart and they were lasting for 45 to a minute long. So I was like, okay, you're not supposed to technically leave to go to the hospital until your water breaks or unless your contractions are 411. So went to sleep Saturday night. Horrible night sleep. I was up maybe every 20, 30 minutes to go pee. And I was in so much pain. And I remember waking up Sunday, which was Easter Sunday. And I was like, yo, I feel like I got hit by a truck. I have not slept. I looked tired. And I have not looked tired my entire pregnancy. I think I carried pretty well. I was fortunate enough to carry pretty well because of just Nova being genuine and kind to me. And just drinking a lot of water. But I looked exhausted. I was like, I got beat up in my sleep.
Yeah, dark circles on your eyes. I was like, yo, did you sleep?
I did. So I was like, okay. So I intended on going to church. Like we intended on going to church with my mom. My mom was like, I don't think you're going to make it to church. So maybe you should stay home. So we stayed home and continued to labor at home. And as the day progressed, the contractions got even worse. And fast forward to like 2:30 Monday morning, I wake Neil up. And I'm like, I think it's time. And before I actually woke you up, I don't know if I told you this, I was like sitting there in pain. And I was like, God, is it time to go? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, wait, are you sure? Is this you or is this me? Because sometimes I confuse the two voices. Yeah. So which one is it? And I kept hearing, go. Like, why are you go? And I'm like, are you really sure? Because I don't want them to turn me away. I'm gonna have to go back home. So eventually I just got over it. I was like, whatever. Worst thing happens. They tell me like, hey, you need to go back home. Mm-hmm. So I wake up Neil, it's 2:30 in the morning. He jumps up. Like, it's not a struggle to get him up at all. He's going upstairs, getting everything that we need. Our bag's already in the car. Yeah. And he wakes up my mom and we're all going. And I'm like, wait, I need my earrings. Wait, I need to brush my teeth.
I'm sorry. This girl was getting dressed like she's going to the Grammys. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You're about to give birth. Like, and she's like, can you just get my bracelets? They're upstairs. I'm like, why do you need... They're going to tell you to take it off.
I know. I don't know. I if you let me, I probably would have put on a full face of makeup too.
You like, I probably can't wear this outfit. So you can grab the other one in the back of the closet. And she has a huge closet. And I'm searching. I was like, I'm literally, and that, we're going to get into my side as well. But I was panicking. I was like, I can't find the clothes. Where the clothes at? And it was right there.
And because I couldn't like make it up the stairs at all. Like I just could not. So we get in the car and I'm now in the front seat of the car because it has the most space, but also I'm like helping my mom to get to the hospital quicker. And I'm literally giving her directions in between contractions. So at this point, my contractions are 5 minutes apart and they're lasting 1 minute. And it's been happening for over an hour now. So I'm memorizing, okay, like I have to give her the next direction in 5 minutes. So I have to tell her ahead of it because 5 minutes from now, I'm going to be in pain and I'm not going to be able to talk. So we get there in record time and they tell me that, they'll admit us and everything, but I would have to walk around the hospital for 2 hours because my water still hadn't broke. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And literally by this time, my contractions are now 3 minutes apart and they're like on a scale of 1 to 10, they're on 1,000. And they're looking at the chart like, oh, that was an intense one. No kidding, Sherlock. Yeah, I know. So I'm like, how am I going to walk for 2 hours? Like, I can't, it's impossible. So I just I honestly, I felt defeated. And I remember they were trying to give me an IV and stuff. And he was like, no, she doesn't need an IV. Like, she's fine. But I don't know, I guess precaution, whatever. But eventually, I said, I gave up and I told Neil, I want to go home. I'm not walking around this hospital for 2 hours. If I'm going to have to do this, if I'm going to have to continue to labor, I'd rather be comfortable at home in my bed. That's that. So I'm trying to get dressed, but I'm in so much pain. So eventually, I'll save Neil's heart for himself to share. But I get into the bathroom and I sit on the toilet and because it's cold and everything, it's helping to relieve the compressions. I finally muster enough strength to put my clothes on, go downstairs, get back in my mom's car. We make it to the stoplight, literally around the corner from the hospital. And what happens?
Your water breaks.
And I'm like, oh.
It's like, guys, I think my water broke. I'm like.
And it's not anything like the movies. It's not that cute little. No, it is a gush. It's like you peed on yourself. It's disgusting. And I'm sitting there and you can't control it. I feel like I lost control of all of my abdominal muscles and I'm holding on to stuff as if that's gonna stop it, and it just keeps going, and I'm like, yeah, oh my gosh. And then Neil goes to get the wheelchair to bring me back into the hospital, and it's still happening in the wheelchair, and I'm just like, I hope they sanitize this because this is disgusting, what's happening. And yeah, they finally are like, oh, okay, it's cool. We'll take you this time.
Can I tell y'all the leading up to this? Because y'all know I like details.
Yes,
y'all listen to the podcast, y'all know I like details. So yes, Nicole's 100% right. Woke us up at 2:00 in the morning and we're on our way. I'm good. Mind you, I haven't seen my sister give birth. Don't recommend it, but I've seen it, right? So I've seen someone give birth before. So I'm like, I'm going to be good. I'm not a queasy person. Blood doesn't make me queasy or anything like that. We get to the hospital. First of all, she didn't even tell you about the security guard that was knocked out. We get to the hospital. We're up in the elevator. Nicole's literally going through contractions, and the security guard is slumped. I'm talking about drool on the side of her face, slumped. So I'm tapping on the glass. I'm like, excuse me. Like, and she was like,
we're trying to go inside. My wife is in labor.
We're trying to go inside. And she's looking like, for a pen. She's like,
can you fill out this form for me, please?
I didn't even have a chance to speak. Nicole is like, excuse me, miss, do you realize I'm in labor right now? I'm literally going through contractions. She's like, I don't even know why they even bring y'all up here. I'm like, Baltimore people, y'all different, bro.
I was just like, ma'am,
y'all are different. So we get into the room that we're supposed to be in. They're checking her and everything like that. Mind you, the whole entire time, I'm just feeling hot. I'm feeling like super hot. I'm like, yo, why do I feel this way? I was like, yo, I think I got a headache. And I was like, no, I don't have a headache. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I just need some fresh air. The doctor comes in. She starts telling Nicole about how the baby's doing and everything like that. And then I'm like, baby, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. I'm like, yeah, I gotta use the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. I'm like, man.
And I realized he was gone for a little while, but I'm like, I don't know, maybe he's like just
puking like, my guts out. All of my guts. And this wasn't just like one time. I threw up that whole entire day probably like 8 to 10 times.
Remember when I told you guys that I was in the bathroom like laboring because I couldn't muster enough strength to make it back downstairs. We were in the bathroom together. He pulled the chair into the bathroom. I was on the toilet. He was on the chair. There was one like trash bag or a trash can in there. And there's one time where we're taking turns throwing up.
Yo, we are taking
it's disgusting.
turns
I'm sorry.
Throwing up in the garbage can. Like, she's going through contractions. I'm holding her hand. She throws up. Literally, she threw up, and I got the garbage can. I'm like, ugh.
It was a lot. It was really, really a lot. And it's funny, but in the moment, I was like, my husband's going to miss the birth of our child because he's sick. And they're probably going to have to admit him. And I'm asking him, I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? And I felt so bad because a part of me was upset because I'm like, dude, really? You're sick? I'm going through it and I need you to get it together. And then when I realized he was really sick, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, normally when he's sick, I'm the one that takes care of him. Like, sorry, I'll go get stuff, whatever, because I know what he needs, whatever. I know what he can't have. And I can't do any of that. So I'm just like.
There was a point where I was throwing up from the front and the back.
No.
I don't care. I'm being honest. We talked about transparency on this podcast.
Oh my God.
Throwing up from the front and the back. Yo, I was like, yo, this day is terrible. Like, I was like, yo, I need a reset button. I don't even want to. I don't want this to be the day that Nova comes. I don't want it to happen.
It was really a lot. And then also, like, one of the things that was, like, happening at the same time. So we after we finally get, like, admitted the second time, he's still sick. And they're doing, like, the cervical check of me. They're making sure that I'm good or whatever, checking the baby's vitals and stuff. They're asking you to fill out paperwork in the middle of your contractions. And I'm just like, yo, who comes up with this stuff? Like, why can't we do this beforehand? Like, my last prenatal appointment before, like, I was supposed to be due? Like, I'm just like, they're like, hey, so do you want delayed cord clamping? And I'm like, it's in my birth plan. Please leave me alone. Like, I am going through it. And they're the nicest people in the world. And I'm just like, I'm miserable. I really have to figure out how I'm going to get through this. Thankfully, our doula came and was spectacular. And they finally move us to our actual labor and delivery room. And that's when things get, like, super real. So now I'm, like, preparing to actually push out our daughter, and I was, I think, 6 centimeters, 6.5 or something, or I was 6. I still wasn't 10 centimeters dilated, and the pain was getting so severe. So my goal was to have a natural birth without any kind of medication. One, because I'm allergic to a lot of the medication that they have in hospitals, but I just knew that a lot of what we go through as women when it comes to labor and delivery, it's all mental. It's physical, yes, and it definitely does test your physical strength, but it's all mental. And I knew that I had the mental strength to do it. I had been meditating a lot during our pregnancy. I'd been praying, I'd been journaling, and just kind of just affirming myself and also protecting my space. And I think my husband also did a really good job at protecting my space. And my family did a really good job at protecting my space and making sure that if something was negative or someone was negative, they got booted out real quick, or it got booted out real quick. So again, like, I had prepared for this moment, and I felt like our family had also prepared for this moment to be very sacred and for me to do it. And like I said, I wanted a natural birth, but around 6 centimeters, I was like, I think I want this epidural.
Just get me the needle.
And it was horrible. Like, I was moving around. I had the birth ball. I had the peanut ball. I was walking. I was squatting. I was doing everything with my doula, and still the pain, it was taxing. And I think I just got tired, and it took everything out of me. And I was like, I don't think I can do this. And they were hearing me say that, because like every time the contraction came, I am audible. So I'm like, I can't do this. And then I was like, wait, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. So it's just like a lot of you hearing me go crazy, basically. And in that last stretch before they rushed all the doctors in, and I'm questioning whether or not I can do this, I focus on my dad. And they normally say, like, when you're having contractions or when you're in active labor, you want to focus on one thing because it helps you to just get through that contraction for however long it lasts. And one of the things that I saw in my contraction, like mentally when I closed my eyes, was my father. And it's this picture that I have of my dad that's upstairs in Nova's nursery where he's holding me. We're in church and he's holding me. And when I closed my eyes, I saw him in that picture, but instead of holding me, he's holding Nova. And the more the contraction intensifies, this picture is coming closer to me. And I'm like, okay, I think I can actually do this. And that last contraction, when I saw him, my nurse says, wait, did you just push just now? And I was like, yeah, I think I did. She was like, stop. I see the baby's head. You might be further than 6 centimeters. You might be at 10. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I get on the bed. They rush the doctor in. The doctor comes in. She's like, oh yeah, you're at like 9.9. It's time to go. Everybody's bum rushing. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is really happening. And she's like, yeah, about the epidural, it's too late. And I'm like,
wait, no.
So I was like, I'm really gonna have to do this.
Yeah.
So eventually, like, everybody comes in, all the doctors are like introducing themselves, and they have multiple doctors in just in case anything happens to myself or the baby. So everybody's really cool, everybody's really nice. And then it's go time. Yeah. So everything's happening really, really fast. And I'm having like this outer body experience. And I'm thinking to myself, again, oh my gosh, is this really happening? So I'm reaching for Neil. My doula's on this side, Neil's on this side. And I keep asking Neil, where's my mom? Because by this time, she's supposed to be upstairs. God knows what her and my sister were doing. They went shopping. They did this. They did that. And I'm like, I can't push without her. Like, I want her to be here. And I just keep asking him, where's my mom? Where's my mom? Where's my mom?
And I'm like texting. I'm like, yo, she's about to push. I was like, yo, they're saying she got 2 more pushes. She got 1 more push. And mom's like, I'm on the elevator. I'm walking right now. Like,
so when they finally are like, okay, this is now when you're going to start pushing the baby out. My mom walks in and is like, I'm here. Thankfully, because I'm clenching myself. Yeah. I'm trying not to push. I'm trying to wait for my mom. My mom finally gets there. And after 4 hours of labor.
4 hours, technically.
Yeah, technically, according to the hospital, 4 hours of labor, 4 hours and 20 minutes of labor, and 4 long pushes, we deliver our beautiful baby girl. And I'm just bawling. There's gospel music playing. I don't even know what song was actually playing.
He was playing Maverick. Yeah. And it was Man, I can't remember. I just remember it was Maverick City.
Yeah.
And my side of it, like from my view, is I'm texting. Mind you, I had thrown up, like I threw up maybe like a few minutes ago and whatnot. And I'm like, all right, I gotta be here. Like I don't want to miss my first child being born. Yeah. So I'm by Nicole, and I had been feeling like terrible the whole entire moment, like that whole entire time, because I wasn't able to really be there for Nicole. So while like she's going through contractions, like I would try to hold her hand, but I'm literally like throwing up back to back, just throwing up. Like her sister wanted to go get me something to drink, throwing that up. I threw up everything, and like I'm falling asleep because my body's just exhausted. Her doula was there, so her doula was able to like do some techniques on Nicole and help her out. But yeah, that final push was, it was different. Yeah, it was so different. I'm not a crier. Anybody that knows me, I'm not a crier. But your boy was shedding some tears. I had some sweat coming out my eyes during that time. Like it was that final push, and I'm seeing Nicole push with everything that she has, everything. She's yelling at the top of her lungs. She like is going in and out saying that she's like, I can't do this. And then she's like, I can do this. And it's like, you hear the music like playing in the background, like, and then she's like, ah, and I'm like tearing, like I'm starting tearing up because I'm seeing Nova's head start to come out, and then boom, push right there. And she's out, and I'm just looking, and I remember I came over to Nicole, and Nicole's like crying. And she's like, we did it. And all I kept thinking about was like, yo, this is such a beautiful moment. But all I kept thinking about was that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We did it, Joe. We did it, Joe. Nicole was like, yo, we did it. And I'm just like in like tears. And then I pick up the phone. I'm calling your sister and Alyssa, and like we're crying on the phone, looking like some aunties. Like I'm like, she did it. She pushed. She did it. She did great. She did it. Like I'm tearing up, and like I think for me it was just like, yo, all of this was worth it. Mm-hmm. Like that moment, it was worth it. Like through all of us just feeling like. You feeling sick most of your trimester. Yeah. Me throwing up for hours on end. It was worth it to just see Nova. And I was just like, yo, she's beautiful. Like she is.
Yeah, she blew me away. And I will say like the last couple of days of my pregnancy, I was very impatient. Like I was doing all the hacks that people tell you should do to induce your labor. We were having sex. I was eating spicy foods. I was going on walks. I was drinking teas. I was about to make some tonic smoothie that this girl had like DM me. And then God had like hit me over the head and was just like, Nicole, these are the last couple of days you are going to have. But in this state of being pregnant with your child inside of you, this is the closest you guys will ever be ever again. And it did something to me, but also it reminded me to have patience, that sometimes we rush a process so quick to get out of it because we want to be on the other side of it. We want to reap the reward of it, that we don't really understand that there's a reward even in the waiting. Mm-hmm. And there was not just a reward in the waiting of me getting to experience and take in these last couple of days of me being pregnant, but I also had so much rest. The like last 3 days of being pregnant, like I slept beautifully, and it wasn't until really that Saturday night into Sunday morning when my active labor, or my early labor, whatever, like labor, one of the labors, when that started, that I started to feel tired. But for those 2 weeks that I had off before my maternity leave started, because I took off, and then I also my maternity leave started. But so it was basically like 4 weeks. Those 4 weeks that I had so much rest. Yeah. But those last 3 days of my pregnancy were the most restful I had been in, honestly, in a long time, even before I was pregnant. So I was super grateful for those 3 days and for just the message that God gave me in that. And then when I was able to push out our daughter, it just all made sense. And I'm not going to say like the last week it's been. Because she's officially a week old, that it's been like easy every single day, but I've been reminded of God's promise through Nova, and it has granted me so much peace. And I wake up every day like super excited, like she's here and just ready to go. We don't get sleep. What is that?
We get sleep, but it's like we get naps. So there's
a difference between sleep and naps.
Yeah, that's facts. But yeah, we haven't slept like 8 hours.
Oh yeah,
straight.
What's that? What is that?
I think there was one day that we got like maybe like 4 hours, and I was like, wow,
we did it.
I was like, man, that was great.
Yeah.
But
she's worth it though. Like, so worth it. And there are times that like I'm wanting to wake her up so that I can spend time with her, because even in just a week, she's already made so much progress. Yeah. And you realize how much she's growing right before your eyes. And it's a sight to see. It really is. Like, I just feel super blessed that we get to be her parents. Like, she is our blessing. Like,
it's really worth it. Like, people will tell you, and to anybody that's like expecting kids and wants kids like in the future, you're gonna hear like tons of people tell you like, yo, get all the sleep that you can. You're not gonna get any sleep. The side that they don't tell you is, bro, you want to be there for your child. You want, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm tired. Like, there's moments where I'm like, dang, no, go to sleep. But like, once your child looks at you and you're staring, it's just different. So for me, it's worth it. It's worth the moments where she's fussy and she doesn't want to go to sleep, or she's in the process now of just like eating. Like, she just gave her like 3 bottles back to back and she just keeps going. Yeah. But it's worth it. So don't get me wrong, like, I'm looking forward to whenever sleep will go back to normal. Don't kind of know when that's going to happen. Any seasoned parents, let us know when that kicks in. But I'm enjoying every process. Like, I have 6 weeks off from work. Yeah. And I'm enjoying it. I'm taking every moment to be present. But I feel like that kind of brings me into the end of this episode. And you usually ask the question, but I asked the question today. Okay. What have you learned?
I think you know the main lesson that I've learned. And I kind of like want to hold her while I'm saying this. If you guys are wondering why I keep looking off this way to the camera, it's because the baby's over there in her little rocker swing thing. And let's hope we don't wake her. So biggest lesson that Nova has taught me, and it's very interesting that she was the one that taught me this, is Grace. So I have 2 middle names. My second middle name is Grace. And it's something that I was just like, why did my parents give me 2 middle names? Like, who's ever going to use 2 middle names? But last year, before I left my last job, there was a pastor there that told me, like, you're going to need Grace to carry you in the next season. Don't take that for granted. Like, there's a reason you were given this middle name, and it's a gift. Grace is a gift. Use it. And I didn't know what he meant at the time at all. And he texted me, I think, a week after I moved from middle of nowhere, Maryland to Baltimore. And he reminded me again of my middle name. And again, totally like just went over my head. One of the hardest things, if I think is the only hardest thing right now, being Nova's mom, is our breastfeeding journey. And it's actually fantastic right now, but the first day home was very difficult because she was having a hard time latching because she was getting frustrated with herself. Nova's very advanced and she wants to do everything on her own. So I'm sitting there trying to help her and trying to guide her, like, where to go to get her food, to get her milk. And she's just wanting to do everything herself. And she's just screaming and getting frustrated and she's turning red. And I'm like, Mija, like, relax. It's going to be okay. And she just keeps getting frustrated. And the more she's getting frustrated, I'm getting frustrated. And it's a lot. So that happened one time. And then overnight it happened again. This time, Neil, like, it's just him and I. So everybody had gone. My sister had gone home. My mom's upstairs asleep. And it's just Neil and I right in that moment. And it's like 2:00 in the morning and I'm exhausted. My body is sore. I literally just pushed out this kid 2 days ago. And I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do it. And Neil's like, pray. And I'm like, are you crazy?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to pray right now. And that's when God just reminded me again of how sometimes we're so hard on ourselves, but he's so excited about us.
Yeah.
He's so excited about us. And if we could just show ourselves a little grace, we would see just an inch of what he sees. And like, I think about it this way. I wake up every day so excited to greet the day with my daughter. And there's nothing she did to earn it. There's nothing she did to earn my excitement or my love for her. She's just there. She just exists. And I'm super excited to greet the day with her and start the day and do things with her and just see what the day is going to greet us with. That's it. She didn't give me anything, just her being still and waking up that day. The same way God sees us. There's nothing we could have done to earn his love or his grace. The fact that we exist is enough. And so with this breastfeeding journey and me reminding her like, hey, baby, it's okay. Like, you're doing great. I'm proud of you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. And she may not be able to fully understand what I'm saying to her in this moment, but I believe it's speaking something over it and it's setting precedent. So if there's anything that I learned, it's that my father is proud of me just because I exist. And there's nothing I can do to gain his love or grace. It just is because I exist.
No, that's good. The offering plate.
Oh my gosh.
No, that was really good. I think for me, what I've learned is I didn't realize that love can go deeper. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I did not cry proposing to Nicole. I did not.
Because I'm chocolate.
I did not cry getting married, seeing her walk down the aisle. And I was just like, yo, is there something wrong with me? I saw people like looking at me during the wedding to see if I was going to cry. And I didn't cry. And I kept telling Nicole I wasn't going to cry when Nova was born. I was going to be excited. I was going to be amazed. But I was surprised as to why I cried. I didn't cry because Nova was coming out. I cried because like I saw like you giving your all. Like you were giving your all, and I cried before like she came out. And then
you didn't tell me that.
I did though.
No, you didn't. I thought you cried because you had a daughter.
Nah. I cried eventually, like, oh, I have a daughter, but yeah, I'm not an emotional person at all. And I always knew like, yo, I love Nicole. Like, of course. Like, that's the reason why I married you and everything. But it was in that moment where I was just like, yo, I really do love her. Like, I really love her. And I've known that I love you, but I really do. And then Nicole also then explained that as she was pumping out the milk and stuff like that a few days ago, like she got sick. So she was just feeling like super exhausted. All these fluids are coming out of her and whatnot. So she's just out of it. So Nicole is like turned over. I'm taking care of Nova. And I'm just like, I don't know why my mind went to this, but I was just thinking like, yo, like if God forbid if Nicole was to pass away, I can't lose her. Like, oh boy. I was like, yo, I cannot lose her. Like, I need her to be here. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this alone. Like, as I think the pride in marriage sometimes, like when you're arguing, it's like, yeah, I'll be good on my own, bro. Like, I was good dolo. Like, I'll be good. But having a kid is just like, yo, I need you to be there. Like, I need you to be there. And there's no way that I'm going to be able to do this by myself. Yeah. And my mother just started feeling super sad. And then we were watching WandaVision, catching up to watch Doctor Strange. And we're there at the end of the episode. And like Wanda saying goodbye. Spoiler alert. Wanda is saying goodbye to Vision and her kids and stuff like that. And I just start like tearing up. And I'm looking at Nicole and I was like, yo, this is making me emotional. And I start talking to her and then like I'm tearing up and she's like, you're crying?
Because he doesn't cry. So like Neil's very like, he's emotionally aware. Very emotionally aware, very emotionally intelligent. But when it comes to getting him to cry, it's impossible. So I never thought I would see the day where he would cry because he loved me. Like, or the thought of him loving me. I was like, what is this?
Yeah. And
so when he really starts crying, I'm like, oh my gosh, like our daughter did something to you.
Yeah, but, yo.
No, that hit, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, because yeah, I gave that everything I had.
Yeah.
And again, it's funny thinking about it now, but in that moment, I did not think I could do it. I did not. When you're feeling that pain and it is a pain that you've never felt in your life, like it really does test everything. And like I said, it's a test of you physically, but it's more so mentally. And they're hearing me have this mental battle with myself, telling myself I can't do it, and then saying, yes, I can. It's real. Yeah. It's so real. So to know that you saw that and yeah, that it meant that to you, like, I like you.
I like you too.
I'm really happy we have this little family together.
We got a whole family, bro.
Yes.
Like, that joint's crazy. We're gonna go take care of our child and do some things. But yeah, guys, we thank you for watching. We thank you for the support. The music that you are hearing is from our good brother and Nova's uncle, Kadeem Nichols. Check him out below. And yeah, let us know what you want us to talk about in these next couple episodes. Yeah, now that she's here, we had ideas before, but we're scrapping them. So let us know what you guys want us to talk about. All right, guys. We will see you on the next episode.
If you're wondering why, she weeps.